Breaking news out of San Francisco. Jonathan Kuminga ended the regular season averaging 15.3 points and 4.6 rebounds over 47 games for the Golden State Warriors. While those stats appear solid at first glance, his limited appearances and inconsistent inclusion in the rotation have raised fresh concerns within and outside the organization. What is happening with Kuminga? Why did one of the league's brightest young prospects play in just over half the games this season? And what could this mean for the Warriors' immediate and future plans? Since being selected 7th overall in the 2021 draft, expectations have followed Kuminga closely, not only because of his athleticism, but also due to the situation he entered: a title-contending team attempting to rebuild on the fly. Steve Kerr and the Warriors front office adopted a rare strategy, aiming to develop young talent while staying competitive at the highest level. Kuminga became the face of that youth movement, a symbol of the team's transition from the Curry era to the future. However, 3 seasons later, Kuminga's journey is still filled with uncertainties. Over his 47 appearances, he performed steadily. There were moments when he became the top scoring option off the bench and even outshone some starters. Yet, the number of games he played was far from ideal for a player expected to have a secure rotation role. Out of 82 games, he missed 35, an absence that, although rarely explained by the organization, has begun to raise serious questions about his standing in Golden State's long-term vision. Let's return to the core of the issue. It's not just about stats, it's about patterns. Kuminga began the season with promise, receiving solid minutes and valuable chances. But as the season went on, his role shifted. Some nights he erupted with 20-point performances, while on others, he vanished from the lineup despite being healthy. That inconsistency could stem from coaching decisions or tactical tweaks, depending on matchups. What's more troubling, though, is the lack of clarity around it. No definitive answers, no clear direction from the coaching staff. Time is passing, and Kuminga is starting to look more like a stalled talent than a rising one. Warriors fans, who are used to a dynasty built on smart decisions and patience, are beginning to wonder, does the coaching staff truly believe in Kuminga? Or is he still fighting to earn a role many assumed would be his by now? And perhaps more importantly, how much longer can the team afford to wait? Kuminga has unique tools: elite athleticism, physical power, defensive awareness, and speed in transition. But in the NBA, talent isn't enough. You need the right fit, proper timing, and above all, trust. If the coaching staff remains unsure about his place, that uncertainty must be resolved soon. Because on a team where the championship window is narrowing, every choice matters. So far, no official trade talks involving Kuminga have emerged. There are no concrete reports or verified rumors suggesting he is on the market. But the absence of news doesn't mean there's no movement behind the curtain. Major decisions often happen quietly. Kuminga appearing in fewer than 60% of the season's games is already a notable detail, one that has caught the attention of analysts and fans alike. What are the Warriors planning? Do they have a clear development path for Kuminga? Or was this season actually a turning point? The coming off-season will require tough calls. The roster is aging. Stephen Curry is still playing at an elite level, but he can't carry the burden alone. Klay Thompson is no longer on the team. Draymond Green remains a heartbeat of the group, but his physical decline is becoming visible. Within that reality, Kuminga has to be more than potential. He must become a reliable presence. Perhaps those 47 games are just a number. Or maybe they're a quiet signal that something isn't quite right. And now the central question is not just about Kuminga's potential, but how much longer the Warriors are willing to wait for it. Now let's shift to Milwaukee, where something even more shocking is unfolding. Right after the Bucks were eliminated by the Indiana Pacers in Game 5, the entire NBA landscape shifted. This wasn't just an early exit. It marked the sudden end of a renewed era that began with Damian Lillard's arrival. Unfortunately, fate intervened. Lillard tore his Achilles during the series, abruptly ending what could have been one of the league's most dangerous duos. This injury is expected to sideline him for most of next season. In other words, Giannis Antetokounmpo could be out of the 2025-26 playoffs before they even start. That's when the rumors began. First quiet whispers, then louder speculation. What will Giannis do now? He's a two-time MVP, likely to earn his 7th All-NBA first-team selection, and he just averaged 30.4 points, 11.9 rebounds, and 6.5 assists this season. Giannis is still in his prime and has openly said he doesn't want to waste these years. He doesn't want to be on a team that isn't seriously contending. And now, with Lillard out indefinitely, the Bucks suddenly appear incomplete and aging, with limited short-term solutions. Social media exploded. Fans and analysts began speculating on possible trades. Miami, New York, Houston, and OKC were all mentioned, but one idea stood out, not just for basketball reasons, but for its boldness. Giannis joining Stephen Curry on the Golden State Warriors. At first, it sounded like a fantasy, but a proposal shared by Logan Reardon of NBC suggested a real possibility. The package? A massive one. Draymond Green, Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, Quentin Post, and 3 unprotected first-round picks in 2026, 2028, and 2030, along with pick swaps in 2027, 2029, and 2031. A true all-in move that sacrifices both the present and future. Suddenly, Kuminga and Moody's roles took on new meaning. Kuminga's reduced minutes, his unclear status, and those 35 missed games could indicate the Warriors were preserving him for a major trade. Perhaps the silence wasn't indecision, but strategy. Golden State is at a crossroads. The dynasty that began with Curry, Thompson, and Green is starting to break apart. Thompson is gone. Draymond remains, but age is catching up. This season might be the final chapter, or the beginning of something new. That depends on whether the team takes the risk, trading the young core and betting on Giannis to lead them back to glory. At 30, Giannis has at least 3 seasons of MVP-level play left. His fit next to Curry could be devastating. Lethal pick and rolls, Giannis in transition, and shooters spacing the floor. Draymond might be gone, but Giannis can fill much of his role with added scoring, strength, and elite defense. Yet the cost is steep. Kuminga averaged 15.3 points despite inconsistent minutes. Podziemski had an impressive rookie year. Moody still holds league-wide value. Draymond, despite his issues, is the team's emotional leader. Trading them, along with 6 draft picks, means giving up flexibility for the rest of the decade. But the Warriors might have no choice. The window is closing. Curry remains elite, but time is ticking. The roster needs a spark. Giannis could be that spark. If the Bucks are forced to consider a rebuild without Lillard, moving Giannis might be unavoidable. And acquiring young talents like Kuminga and Podziemski could be the first step in that new direction. Meanwhile, the Warriors are still alive in the playoffs. They are currently battling the Houston Rockets in the Western Conference quarterfinals and could close the series in Game 6 at Chase Center. But the real decisions are happening off the court, in quiet meetings that will shape the team's future. So here's the big question. If you were Mike Dunleavy Jr., would you go all in for Giannis? Would you give up Kuminga, Moody, Draymond, and your franchise's future for a shot at another title? Or would you stay the course and trust the young core? Share your thoughts in the comments. Is this trade a fantasy, a mistake, or the only logical move left. And stay tuned, because in the next episode, we'll explore how Lillard's injury might trigger a full rebuild in the East, and why the Miami Heat could become the Warriors' biggest competition for Giannis. If you're obsessed with the NBA's hidden stories and big-picture strategies, this is the place to be. Turn on notifications, share the video, and come along for the journey. Because the NBA never sleeps, and we tell its stories with depth, clarity, and heart.